So the playlist, Sunrise Yoga, it starts with body and soul. We'll press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and press play. We're going to start in child's pose today. So our toes will come together at the back of the mat. Our knees splayed as wide as it is comfortable for you. So if embryo pose with the knees together and the torso just draping over the thighs is more comfortable, arms can stay down by your side and the forehead, third eye center can just rest on the mat. But if child's pose is the pose that you have chosen, let the touch points of the body and the earth, those connection places, soften. Notice the shins and the palms. And then notice your breath. And just noticing you. And not so much about what's going on around you or what's been happening to you. But just noticing how you are here in the present, where you are safe, where you are loved, where you are worthy and you are enough. We are all of those things all of the time. But it's often that circumstances, external forces, do a pretty good job to change our mind of those things. And we let the fear creep in and the doubt creep in and the questions. But when we take these moments to just pause the outside world, and just breathe. We remember that we are safe. We are so loved, so worthy, and more than enough. So whether you show up in your daily life as a partner, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, a mother, a wife, a friend, how you show up to all of those people is important, but how you show up to yourself is number one. And taking this time, the next 60 minutes or so, to pour back into our reserve, to give back to us, to give back to you. We're going to take an open mouth exhale, and I want you to drag out the end of it for as long as you can to where there is some force coming from the back of your throat. So we'll take just a clearing breath. Inhale through the nose. Through the mouth or through the nose, you can exhale. Just let something go. And here comes the big release. Deep breath in. Through the mouth, press the air. And when you feel like you've pressed it all, keep pressing, dig deep, and then pause. Keep the lips sealed. Inhale through the nose. And open mouth release. Ujjayi, inhale. And Ujjayi, exhale. Start to find the rhythm within yourself. The flow and the steady stream. The connection, the link between the inhale and the exhale. Even if exploring a pause in between. Your whole system begins to respond to the breath. Your physical body begins to respond to the breath. And in turn, the breath becomes your focal point. What you need to keep healthy and vibrant, to keep this practice and this life moving forward. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose, filling up. And as if you're fogging up a mirror, open mouth, exhale. Begin to draw yourself up onto all fours. Taking your time, this is going to be a yin release. There's some connective tissues that have been stretched for a little bit now, so really be mindful as you make your way into your tabletop shape. And then just start to move the body in circles. So it can either be with a cat-cow, or it can be side to side in full rotations or in half rotations. If your head and neck, depending on how you sleep, was feeling okay, you can start to bring a little bit of movement in there, but no real direction, just freedom of movement. And again, awareness into what's connected to the earth. The palms pressing down to allow the upper body to lift and move and shape and shift. And the shins and the top of the feet supporting the lower half, your trunk, your root. Your heart and your root working at the same time. Come back in through center. Take your right foot out to the side of your mat so that the sole of the foot's pressing to the floor. The outer edge is kind of rolling towards the pinky toe. And then you're squeezing the inner thighs together so that the sit bones are still extending to the back of the room. Your crown is still extending forward. We'll find some cat-cows with this open leg, just dropping the belly, pressing through that right foot. Don't allow it to get lazy. Lift the heart. Notice where you're overcompensating in one hand or the other. And then pressing through both palms, round, chin to chest. Gaze to your navel, or maybe you take this with closed eyes. Feel a little lift out of that right arch. Take it 2 more times. Drop the belly, lift the heart, inhale. And press to round, exhale. One more time, in breath. And cat pose as you round. Neutral spine. Use your inner thigh, your adductor to lift that right leg. Take it around, step it behind your left ankle, and then just press the heel to the back of the room, feeling get a calf, get a nice stretch. Maybe the arch of the foot gets a nice stretch. Don't lean over to the left so much. Try to keep yourself centered. Good. And then come back through center, both knees to the floor. And step your left foot out to the side. So just 3 of these cat-cows. with that full extension of the leg. I want all the left toes pointing forward in that outer arch, inner arch foot, the whole foot connected. Start by just lifting the tailbone, lifting the sternum, and rounding. Pubic bone and forehead come closer together. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Neutral. And some concentration of the core, engagement as you move that left foot behind your right ankle, or really to the right side of your mat. And then the press is just the leg bone. The flexion in the toes. This is it's uncomfortable for a lot of people, right? It's like that toe pose. Just that is enough. So to press the heel even more might be a lot. Just breathe with it. When you just start to breathe with it, you notice the changes. Your body's not telling you, your mind isn't telling you that you can't. Come back to your center, and we are going to take a double toe pose. This is where the mind comes over the matter. So your toes are just going to tuck under. My pinky toe isn't long enough, so I always have to reach down and grab him, pull him underneath. And then just walking your hands up so that your seat is securely on your heels. So just a 10 round of breath here. Let your eyes soften. Palms down for a little bit of grounding. Inhale fully. Watch the exhales. Any sensations coming out of the webbing of the feet, breathe there. Be here. No one died from broken toes, not that I know of. No one's ever passed away in toes pose. Although it feels like your feet might fall off. We walk out with both feet attached, all 10 toes intact. They're actually a little bit more happy than they were when we got in. Find a smile on your face. Take your last round of breath. Inhale. And open mouth, exhale. Now the counter to this feels really good. You roll forward onto all fours. Just untuck your toes again, yin release. You feel that whole sensation up your foot. You might even feel it in your knees. You might even feel it in your hips, depending. And just pitter patter the feet. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just really the toes, just waking them up. Good. And then extend your right foot behind, your left foot behind you. Press through your hands and step your right foot to the top of the mat. So you're in a low lunge. Just find a little rocking forward and back. Feel that left hip flexor start to wake up. And the world's greatest stretch, before I ever took yoga, this was our favorite stretch on the field or, by the pool. So you soften the left knee down. Your left hand's gonna stay down and you're just gonna roll open your right body. Maybe your right knee will fall away. It's lizard, but a variation. Just getting a little bigger and a little bit of a twist. So the heart is reaching towards the sky. So you're getting sensation through your left hip flexor, your outer and inner right thigh as you press. Shoulders are getting opened. Heart space is getting opened. Root and heart. Take another breath in here. And as you exhale, both hands are going to come down inside of the right foot. So the right foot doesn't have to be off the mat, it can be on. Turn the right foot forward. Extend the left heel to the back of the room. And then just step left foot forward. We're going to find a wide-legged fold. So not malasana. Both feet will stand. Elbow to opposite hand to opposite elbow. Slight bend in your knees. Ragdoll just for a moment.
I can always feel one IT band a little bit more in my ragdoll, so sometimes I hang out in one space and just breathe into the release. And then back through center. Let's heel toe our feet together, so fingertips come to the floor. Just about hip distance, 2 fists if you need to drop the fist into check. And then just slide your hands up to your shins, finding that halfway lift. We're gonna do that 3 times. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, bend your knees and fold over your thighs. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Shoulders away from ears. There's this tightness around the chest and drawing back of the upper body. And fold forward. And last time, halfway lift, squeeze and hold here. Let your inner ankles squeeze together, your inner knees squeeze together, all while some external rotation is happening through your thighs. And then I want your arms to reach out like wings. So you're fully supported, hips to floor. And your upper body is floating with support of your core. Flip your palms so that they're towards the sky. Some rotation through the shoulder girdle here. And then just begin to lift yourself up to standing, arms reach overhead, and have it be a fluid movement. Palms come together to touch. Exhale, flip your palms, bend your knees, hinge your hips, lower down halfway into that swan dive, hold. And then soften your right hand down towards the floor. Bend into the right foot, straighten the left leg as you twist towards the left. Left hand's going to stay reaching. Look up at your left fingers. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, fold, both knees bend, both fingertips meet the mat. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold, release. Halfway inhale. Keeping the lower half, extending the arms. Flip the palms, press through your feet, reverse to rise. Breathe to sweep all the way overhead, palms touch at the top. And as you exhale, bend your knees, shift your weight, and fold halfway to squeeze. Left hand down, right arm to the sky, bending into the left knee, right leg straightens as you get that twist. Hip bones are pressing to the back of the room. Shoulders, make sure they're not by your ears, you're drawing them away. And gaze up at the right hand. Deep breath in. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, last time. Exhale, fold. So I want you to think of that reversing as you rise. Sweep your arms out as you press up through your feet. Let your arms come overhead. This time, press your hip bones to the front of the room as you offer a back bend. And exhale, hands to your heart. So we'll set intention for our practice today. As our hands rest right over our heart space, palms an extension of our heart and our feet connected to the floor. Maybe stay rooted in our practice, focused, and maybe stay light in the heart, open to receive. Deep breath in. Open mouth. Beautiful. Top of the mat, both arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive or forward fold. You can bend to bow, however you'd like to get down today. Find a halfway lift as you breathe in. And exhale, plant your hands, step back to your high plank, and then float your knees to the floor, making your way into your tabletop. So use your core. Good. Right foot's gonna step back. Knee is gonna stay lifted. You're gonna press through your palms, left foot's gonna float, and then just step it forward. You can walk your hands back if you need to. Right foot, knee comes down right below the hip. Hand down, just and open. A lizard stretch, a variation. World's greatest stretch. Both hands down, inside of the left foot. Turn the right toes under, press the heel back, let the knee lift, and then step the left foot back to meet the right. Find yourself in your high plank. Both knees to the floor. Wrap your arms in. Lower down halfway into your low push-up, that hover. Squeeze your biceps by your arms and by your side body. Extend your legs long, lift your sternum, find your upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. So pedal the dog, first time here. Shift the weight and from side to side. Notice what's crept into the mind, if anything. And just like that puppy, just like that meditation practice, where you veer off, you come back. Where it pees on your floor, you direct it to the lawn. It's just redirection. Lift up high onto your toes. Bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat and fold. Find a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. And we'll move through our first sun salutation. Press through your feet, lift to rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart as you pause. Surya Namaskar A, sun salutation A, full body prayer. Both arms reach up. Exhale, bend to bow. Offer heart, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, high plank. Either lowering the knees down or taking your low push-up with knees hovering, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. Runner's lunge to the top of the mat. Step lightly. Let your left hip flexor breathe as you lift your sternum. Come up onto steepled fingers. And exhale, step the left foot in about halfway, so pyramid pose. One of my favorites to stretch both the hips and the backs of the legs. So I have blocks, but if you don't, and you have books or soup cans or anything, you can use them. I always like to find a flat spine, really draw my right hip back to prevent my left hip from caving in or falling. And if you don't have the blocks, that's fine. A slight bend into the right leg, so you're not hyperextending. And your hands tented out in front of you. You should be able to feel the stretch just the same. Good. So now we're just gonna walk our hands out a little bit farther. Step your left foot in to meet your right and hover the ankle. So it's kind of hard to see on this video, but my weight is in my right foot, my left heel's hovering. And I'm just gonna open it out to the side. So I'm gonna turn myself a little bit this way. So just lifting without shifting the weight and lower down. And we're just gonna do that 3 times. Inhale, don't shift the hips, just lift the foot. And exhale. Last time, breathe in. And both feet meet, bend your knees and forward fold. Shake your head, give it a nod. Find a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Reverse to rise, breathe the sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Both arms reach high, in breath. And forward fold, bend to bow. Halfway lift, inhale. High plank pose, exhale. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot to the sky, inhale. Runner's lunge, top of the mat. Steepled fingers, right hips. Keep rolling that right hip towards the floor. Notice if it's turning out, if your back toes, all 5 toes have to be facing forward. Heel has to be directly over in order for that hip to be rolled down. Then just begin to press through the left foot. Lift the right leg and step it in about halfway. Setting up for your pyramid pose, always a little shorter than you think that it needs to be. So for a long time, in a particular style of yoga, it was that left heel to right heel alignment. So you were crossing your legs and trying to keep your hips square at the same time, which is doable once you get there, but before you get there, you need a little space between the hips. So about hip distance on the feet, still pressing through the heels as your sternum reaches forward. There's a lot happening here, and you still have to breathe. Take another breath in. Walk your hands out. Bring some weight into that left foot now. Shift forward. Right foot is hovering. And I always like to find little circles, but that's just my prep. And then find your low belly, engage, and just begin to lift that right foot up. It doesn't have to lift a lot. It maybe comes 4 or 5 inches off of the heel. You might have a fuller extension where you could lift it to the 90-degree angle, but there's no need. One more time. Good. Bend both knees, both feet meet, and you fold. Find a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Reverse to rise. And bend to bow. Halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Optional vinyasa always. Right foot sweeps to the top of to the sky, and inhale. Then stack, bend, and open. So just turn so the right hip is stacking over your left hip. And you might want to keep this leg straight. Maybe you bend it, but maybe you keep it extended and you're finding that stretch through the heel. Or the knee, whichever one. Good, square the hip off. Take your right knee into your nose. Keep your head hanging heavy, biceps right in line with your ears. Shoulders reach over wrist. And then send it back. 3-legged dog. Right knee over to your left side. Thread it through. So extend the foot to the outer edge. And then hold here. So another deep IT. Notice what's connected to the floor. Your root, your feet, your hands, your heart. Keep your gaze out ahead. Keep drawing that left heel away from you. Flex the right toes towards your crown. Take a deep breath in. Slide yourself all the way on to that right hip. Good. Turn yourself so that you're finding yourself in a wide-legged fold towards the back of your room. I'm just going to turn myself here for video purposes. Both arms reach up. Hinging at your hips, extend yourself forward just to the point where your back can remain flat. So I'd like your hands to come to the floor and then just a gentle draw of energy back towards your body.
Keep flexing your feet, toes wrapping towards your crown. And just breathe. You can lower as low as you need or can go maybe onto forearms. Think about your pinkies and your toes wrapping away towards the back of the ribs. There's some external rotation through your whole leg bone. Take one more breath in. Good. Slowly begin to walk your hands up underneath your shoulders. Right hand will come behind your hip. Lift your left arm to the sky. Press through the right hand, lift your hips so you're coming back into that fallen triangle, lifting up out of your heart space. Left hand comes to the floor. Right knee comes into your chest. Step to the top of your mat, find your runner's lunge. And then find your core to float up to your high crescent. So nothing moves on the lower half, just your upper body, stack shoulders over hips, good. Internal rotation of your pinkies, soften in a little bit. So my left knee needs to bend, my hips are very tight. Straighten both your legs and reach up through your fingers. You're gonna grow out of your crown and out of your balance. And as you exhale, bring both elbows down in line with shoulders, double bend in your knees. Good. Inhale, press up, reach up, lift. And exhale, double bend. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Reach your arms, extend your left leg, come back into your high crescent. And as you exhale, just soften your left heel down, come into your warrior two. So your right knee is bent over your front toes or over your front ankle. Knee is tracking towards your baby toes. And just check in with your hips. Bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your torso. Make sure your torso, shoulders, ribs, everything's in line. Reach your arms out from there, and then just turn the neck. Keep the ribs connected. Soften your back hand, reverse your warrior. Bend deeper into the right leg. Feel the side body stretch. Look up. Exhale, triangle pose. Straighten your right leg, right arm reaches forward. Hand softens down either inside your thigh, shin, ankle. But what you want to think of is where we were in that greatest stretch or that side variation of lizard, where our torso was twisting and our heart was extending towards the sky. That's that same opening that you want to feel in your upper body. Heels are still drawing together to meet at the middle of the mat. Warrior two, rebend into the right leg, reach up. Gentle warrior, both arms overhead. Inhale, turn your right toes. And as you exhale, forward fold, a wide straddle. Only here for a breath, find a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Good. Notice the head again, if there's any tension in the shoulders. Walking hands underneath the shoulders, find a halfway lift. And then walk your hands all the way over to the right, finding your runner's lunge at the top of the mat. We'll come into that greatest stretch again. Left hand's gonna stay down. Left knee is gonna stay lifted this time. Roll open, reach up and away with the right. Right knee can soften away. Deep breath in. Soften the right heel, the left heel to the floor.
Take your right foot and heel toe it halfway. So we're coming into a modified Vashisthasana half plank. I want you to think of pressing through your left outer edge a little bit more to lift your hips. Squeeze your inner thighs and reach your fingertips away. We'll take 2 hip lifts. Your right hand will bend, the elbow will bend so the hand comes behind your head. Lower the hips down, look behind you. It's almost like we're doing our lounging lizard, but the hand's gonna stay connected. And then press up. Good. Inhale, lower down, keep the shoulder connected, use your core, drop the hip, and press up. Still not forgetting that this leg, this supporting leg, this right leg is very engaged. You're using it to press and lift and hold. So one final adjustment. You can take this right foot to step it back towards the left. You can soften the left knee down and extend the right foot coming into your Vashisthasana this way. Or you can stack your feet, scissor your feet, ankles to come into your half plank. If you'd like to find any expression of tree, bringing your right knee in towards your left knee or inner thigh. Take another breath in. In any variation of your plank pose that you are at, bring both hands to the floor, turn all 10 toes forward, and press back into your child's pose. Knees grow farther away than they even started, hips to the heels, and reach your arms out ahead. Bring your hands to prayer. Walk your elbows out a little bit farther, bend the elbows, and then bring the thumbs to the nape of the neck. And again, just noticing what's connected. Good. Reach your arms out ahead. Roll forward, find your high plank. Your tabletop. Keep your knees to the floor. Keep your right hand down, sweep your left arm up to the sky. And then tease as you thread it through. So reach through the right side. Keep reaching, 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 reaching. And sweep back up. Round and reach. And sweep back up. Good. This time you land on that left shoulder, reach it through, hold and hover, and soften to the outer edge. So your cheek might come down on the mat, it might not. I do want your hips to stay stacked over your heels. And your right hand come to the sacrum, and I want you to think, rotating the ribs up towards the sky. Shoulder blades together. And notice that right foot is trying to lift from the mat, keep the shin connected. Just one more breath in. Right hand comes underneath your right shoulder. Press up and counter stretch. Left arm extends towards the sky. And both hands come down. Good. Cat-cow, drop the belly, lift the heart. And exhale into your cat. Neutral spine. Downward dog. And pedaling, shifting. Left leg breathes high. And here you have the option again to stack and bend. So bringing the left heel towards the seat, or maybe you keep the left heel extended or the knee extended and the heel is what is the weight, the anchor, what's driving open the left hip. And extend your legs long. Take your left knee into your nose, coil around. Send it back, inhale. Left knee, right elbow, corkscrew, and then send through. So staying here in this lifted fallen warrior first. So sometimes we come down onto that hip, we come down onto our forearms, we're gonna stay lifted. Keep breathing just for 2. Last one. Good, soften the right heel towards the floor.
Spin open and sit down onto your wide straddle. Good. And then folding, extending at the hip joint or the hip crease into your degree. And just 3 breaths here. Nice. Slowly walking yourself back up. Your right arm reaches by your ear. Your left hand comes behind your hip. Pointed toes or flex feet. It's up to you. Just find your fallen triangle. So sometimes it's helpful to roll your right hip down towards your left to press and lift open. We're just here for a breath. Right hand to the floor. Turning the right toes back through. Left foot lifts and steps. And adjusts and pivots as you need. We never land right where we want. It's always a little bit of practice, a little warming up. Rock forward and back here. And take your time nice and slow as you come through center to lift into your high crescent. Soften the right knee. Bend at the elbows. And we're just gonna find 3. Press through the feet, lift up. And as you exhale, double bend. Ujjayi breath is turned on. Good, last time, reach up. Exhale. Straighten out the right leg. Reach the arms to the sky. And find your warrior 2. And again, adjusting as you need to. So that back foot parallel to the back of the mat, if that is what works for you, but the toes can be turned in on that slight angle too. So you get a little internal rotation through the leg. Just really allows you to stay even in your hips a little bit more. Or you can keep it right where it's always been. Hands come to the hips. Check in with the alignment. And then reach back out, just turn the chin. This is where we have built our resiliency for what's happening in the world. All of the hours we have spent standing in our power in our warrior 2. Breathing through the very uncomfortable, although bearable. You dig deep. 2 more rounds. Close your eyes, surrender. We're going to take that long exhale in through the nose. Out through the mouth with some force. Gentle warrior, inhale. Warrior 2. Reverse, backhand softens, maybe it binds as you reach up and behind. Trikonasana. Maybe you stay with the bind. Again, with the bind, it really allows your torso to stay open. That right shoulder's already rolled towards the back of the room. So that left rib is extending towards the front of the room. And then don't allow your knees to knock out. There's still engagement through your lower body, roots, and heart. Where we come from and where we're going. Bend into the front leg, warrior 2. Gentle warrior, pivot the toes. Rather than folding, we're gonna find goddess. So heels are in, toes are out, and we're gonna sink. into a deeper space. Find that external rotation through the thighs. Let's actually bring our hands right down onto our knees. Our thumbs are going to be inside of our knees and our fingers are going to be wrapped around. And then I want you to press the legs away as you draw your shoulder blades together and you're kind of hovering in a mid float. So I'm going to turn my body like this. And then I want you to dip your left shoulder into the well as you roll your right shoulder open. Nothing's really moving with your lower half. You're set, you're stable. And then again, twisting at the ribs, come back through center. Dip the right shoulder, kind of press that right knee away a little bit more, twist at the ribs, open to the left. Good. Come back through center. Find it one more time each side. As you come back through center, you need to walk your hands in towards your hip creases. I'm going to turn myself back around. Lift your arms up. Find yourself in your goddess. Press through your feet, gentle warrior at the top of your mat. Both legs straighten, both arms reach up. And double bend in the elbows, double bend in the legs. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. And exhale, soften. Good, last time, breathe up. And exhale. Let's take our hands behind our back to interlace. Draw the knuckles down past your tail, press through your feet. So now turn your toes in with your heels out, and we're just gonna take one breath in this shoulder rinse, forward fold. Hinge at your hips, lead with your heart. Knuckles come off of your tailbone if it's accessible. If not, keep them there. Find some softness. Doesn't have to be as deep of a stretch. It's just getting the body moving. Hands to the low back. Hands underneath your torso, find a halfway lift. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to the front of the mat. You're in your runner's lunge. Good. Right knee's gonna stay lifted, right hand to the mat. Sweep open with the left arm. Come onto the outer edge of the left toes. And then setting yourself up, I'm gonna turn myself here. Setting yourself up again, walking the foot, finding yourself in your variation of Vinyasa or variation of your floating lizard. Good. Hand bends or elbow bends, hands come behind that. Press through the hips, feel that stretch. It's a lot through that outer left leg. Good. And then soften the hips and look back. 2 more times, lift up. And exhale. Good, last time, stay lifted. Option to step the left foot back into any variation of your Vinyasa, half plank that serves you, that's calling you today, knowing that there are tons of modifications for this posture. And taking one more breath in wherever you are. Left hand will reach to the floor. All 10 toes will turn under. Let's take one final upward facing dog. So soften your hips to the floor. Let your feet be wide on the mat. So foot to the right, foot to the left, hips low, heart high, elbows wrapped in. Use your core, get out of your low back. And press back into child's pose. Draw your toes together, knees are wide. And rolling forward into your table. Bring your heels around your seat or somehow come onto your seat.
If you had a block or would like a block, a blanket, a pillow for legs up the wall, you can go ahead and find that, grab water, towel, whatever you need before you find rest. And we did a lot of twisting today, even though I might not have felt like twisting. So we're gonna take our final spinal twist, just one breath each side. So roll yourself down, take your right knee into your chest. Find your spinal twist, right leg across your left body, and reach your right arm away. So actually see if you can straighten out the right leg. So the heel is pressing towards the left side of the room, and there's a little bit more connection happening in the stretch. A little bit more fire energy coming from the body. And then come back through center, bend the right knee, draw it in through center, squeeze. Any movement that you need to find in between, setting that up on the second side. Spinal twist with a nice extended straight leg. And sometimes it's helpful to bend the leg and then straighten it as it reaches out and away. And then bending the left knee and coming back through center. If there's anything else that you'd like to find before legs up the wall, bridge pose, happy baby, dead bug, just a little rocking and rolling through any part of the hips. And then signing a block, blanket, pillow, book. Allowing or finding a wall. Luckily, we're all home and we have plenty of wall space. Legs can float right up to the sky. And coming back in. Bending one knee at a time. Lowering one foot down. And taking up space as you slide into your final posture, a place of rest. And whatever that looks like today, there's no rule of what shape it has to be. Just a spot where you can surrender, where you can let go. Where you can tune everything out to tune back in. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. It's building the reserve, building the bank. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Separate the lips, open mouth. Shavasana.
Beginning to deepen your breath. Bringing life back into the body. You're wiggling the fingers and the toes. The arms reach up overhead, a full body stretch. Knees into your chest. A moment for thanks and gratitude. And fetal posture, left or right side. We'll press up into a comfortable seat. Hands will rest in Anjali Mudra. And thumbs to our foreheads. Where the divine love and light in me honors, respects, witnesses the same love and light that shines deep within each one of you. Together in community we bow. Namaste.